Hi, you've made it to Dating 101.
We're here to give you a brief tutorial about the ins and outs of some of the toughest parts to getting a first date and going out on that first date.
We want to start this tutorial by reviewing the importance of nonverbal communication because it's super important when we're going out on that first date.
And next, we want to help you frame who would be a good and not so good person to go out on that first date with. We recognize that dating is a tough subject to talk about, so we hope that in this video you learn a little more about the dating process. As you might know, nonverbal skills can be just as important for communicating emotions in dating relationships as verbal skills. In general, people pay attention to how we speak just as much as to what we say. These nonverbal skills can be grouped into two main areas: body language and paralanguage.
Body language is things like eye contact, gestures, posture, facial expressions, physical distance, and physical appearance. Paralanguage is more about tone of voice, volume of voice, and voice inflection. This nonverbal communication is very important when we enter the dating world, and it's a good idea to understand how to give it and receive it.
First, let's think about tone of voice. This is how you are actually saying something. Sometimes the tone you use can change how people interpret the words you say. You can even send messages you didn't mean to by using an inappropriate tone. Let's think of an example. Say, for instance, you are trying to give someone a compliment and you say,
"Those new glasses look great on you."
in a bored voice. That sounds like you didn't really mean it. Now, what if you said,
"Those new glasses look so great on you."
in an excited voice? The person hearing your words may have a very different reaction depending on the tone of voice that you use.
Next, let's think about eye contact. We all speak with our eyes as well as with our words. I'm sure you know how important it is to look at the person you're talking to. This is important when you go on that first date, too. Making eye contact doesn't mean staring into someone's eyes during the entire conversation, but looking at them every so often to let them know you're listening. We have to look at our dates to be aware of their reactions to what we say and what we do.
Here's an activity to show you what eye contact feels like. Everyone find a partner and take turns telling your partner what you had for breakfast today. The catch is that I don't want you to take your eyes off your partner's eyes. Now let's try the opposite. Don't look at your partner at all as they tell you what they had for lunch today. That doesn't quite feel comfortable either.
When we go on dates, we want to make sure we're using a good balance of looking at the other person and giving their eyes a break. Try looking at your partner now, often, but not the whole time, as you tell your partner about your dinner plans tonight. Hopefully, this round went well and you got a feel for appropriate eye contact.
The last nonverbal communication tip we'll give you is about personal body space. This is the physical distance or space between you and another person. The concept is important for dating because the distance you keep between you and your date may change as you get to know them.
Keeping people a certain distance from our bodies helps us feel comfortable in different situations. In general, there are 4 main zones. First, there is the public zone. This starts about 12 feet away from your body and extends to as far as your eye can see. This distance is good for public speaking, such as when someone runs for class president in high school.
The second zone is the social zone. This one ranges from about 4 feet away from our bodies to 12 feet. This is where you talk to many people who you don't know that well.
The third zone is the personal zone. This is about 18 inches to 4 feet away from our bodies. People you know well, friends, cousins, classmates, stand this close to you as you have everyday conversations.
The last zone is the intimate zone. The zone starts when someone can almost touch you to about 18 inches away from you. This is where your family and closest friends may stand to talk when they're telling you something personal. As you get to know a new person and go out on that first date, your personal body space will probably be in the social zone. As you get to know this person better and maybe go on a few more dates, this could move on to the personal zone.
Eventually in your dating relationship, you may feel comfortable in the intimate zone, but the important thing to remember here is that you need to feel comfortable with the distance between yourself and your date, and you need to make sure that the other person feels comfortable too. Being honest with your date is the best way to stay on the same page about your intentions.
Next, we want to talk about who to date and who may be less appropriate to date. Overall, a good person to date is someone who you think you could get to know better and see yourself spending more time with. This may be someone that you are attracted to and enjoy their personality.
Also, dating typically works better when both parties have a mutual interest in each other. Overall, a not-so-good person to date is someone who you have a professional relationship with, already has a significant other, or someone who doesn't like a lot of the same things you do. Let's go through some examples.